Hello. Good morning. Or good evening. Don't know where you are. But yeah, it's time for yet another warm-up. I think I'll be experimenting with the same like silhouette if possible, depending on which topic comes in. Hey Bjorn, welcome back. Glad to see you around again. I noticed you came back yesterday as well, which is great. So let's see how that goes. Hey, good morning, Kuru, Morphia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hello, dear Bard. Yes, it did. So good morning, Lurib. Welcome back. All right. Throw me some topics while I sort the dice out, and hopefully, we'll get that to work. Oh yeah. So let's hope, Lurib, that your portfolio submission to the other school works to your advantage, and that you can move closer to your girlfriend. Jordy, no, time is not up. I haven't reset the clock. I have to do it manually every time. This is one of the things I always forget. So there we go. There's the time reset. Hey, Jordy. Well, you were very welcome. It's time to throw me some topics. So we got 2. Steed from Hell, Diesel Punk Hovercraft, Original Chimera. So we got 3 topics. We need 3 more. 3 more fingers. 1, 2, 3. Yep. More topics. Come on. Superhero Space Amazon. That's pretty cool. 2 more. If not, I'm gonna roll the dice and hope it's 1 to 4. Alright, whatever. Let's see. Okay, 5th element. Awesome. It's number 3 today, which is 1, 2, Original Chimera by Bjorn. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Original Chimera by Bjorn 986, because there's 985 other Bjorks. Alright. Let's start the timer. And we're rolling. Okay, so Original Chimera. Let's do silhouette again. Why not? But this time I'm not gonna do value design first. I'm just gonna work on the silhouette. How does this work? Chimera. All right. I'm kind of seeing a picture, but like with snake and some sort of arms like that. But the pose is kind of boring, so I need to switch that up a bit. I think I should make it more in motion. Let's have it more swooshy. York, yeah. Have you seen the movie One? I think it was called, with Jet Li. It's a pretty cool movie synopsis. Hey, dear bird, you made it. Hey, good morning, Svensenart. Yeah, so I think it's called One. this movie with Jet Li. It's about a trans-dimensional villain. He goes through multiple dimensions to find every version of himself, and he kills them, and he becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and the movie is about Jet Li, and when this trans-dimensional villain comes, and he's the last one, and when the villain kills him, he will become like a god or something, right? And it's a pretty cool movie. I mean, it's not anything amazing. It's not anything, gonna go down in Hall of Fame of movie history, but it's a fun idea. I don't remember Lurib, but there's it's a kung fu movie. I'm quite sure that there's a big fight scene in the end. So let's go a little bit fantasy here, right? So they say it's the original Chimera. I feel like let's do a little bit of some high fantasy stuff. You can't go wrong with fantasy. And let's just make it like a mix of different animals type enemy. That's where my mind went. Yeah, there is a fight scene at the... Well, as far as I remember in that movie, it was like an execution chamber, right? Like they'd be sent off to some other dimension, or I don't remember what it was, but it was something weird like that. And I think the end scene is maybe in that place. But anyway, it's a cool little movie. Yesterday I spent more time on my lecture. Was looking through it and writing down support words for when I talk, and I talked through it. But tonight I think I gotta like record it and see how long it actually takes, and if I need to do any adjustments. And then over the weekend I'm gonna practice it even more and more and more until I vomit. Because next week I'm gonna have to talk about it. All right, so let's try another thing. Let's see what happens. No, it should be the other way around. Yeah. Right, and then let's... Oh no. Oh. Yes. All right. Let's try this way. I think yesterday I might have overcomplicated things, but it did end up something interesting. But let's see how what this does. I think this could be a fun way to do concepts as well. Like you focus on the silhouette, and then maybe I need the selections so I can better understand. No, actually, let's play this Q. Can I take it here? Oh no. Whatever. Let's have the selection so I can see things. Or maybe not. Morphia. The topic of yeah, like Kuri said, it's about creativity. It's like geared towards like beginners and intermediates rather than seasoned professionals, and is all more or less about like highlighting things, give people some tools to think about, you know, when you're being creative on demand, etc. And things, showing examples and things, you know, nothing hardcore at all in that sense, like a data dump. But it's pretty, I think it's pretty interesting information, good to be reminded of, and if you not even know about it, it's a good thing to keep in mind, you know, kind of stuff like that. Kuru, yeah, the red background did look cool. It did highlight the creature quite a lot. But that's probably something I could do afterwards. But at the moment now, I'm just kind of having some fun painting monsters. You know, how can you go wrong with painting monsters? So I was thinking the other day about. I've mentioned this before on the stream, but the thing a lot of people always ask about is like how to get a job. And I was thinking about, you know, looking back at the very beginning of my art career and how it was. And I remember doing a lot of mods, unpaid, of course. But for me, that was my attempt at. I was thinking strategically, even, you know, at that point, like, okay, I want to get noticed somehow. How can I become noticed by doing work that I, you know, obviously no one wants to pay me yet, you know, so how can I get noticed and seen and prove like that I can prove that I can, you know. So I remember one mod, me and a guy initially started, which was like an organized crime mod for Unreal. It was in like gaming magazines and everything towards the end. But we never finished it. We never released it. But I did a bunch of concept. He did 3D. It was pretty good fun, you know. And we did get noticed, but never. I was never approached of people wanting to hire me because of it, which is a bit shame at that time. But then I remember did another mod that also made it to the gaming magazines, etc. at the time. I mean, obviously back then internet wasn't as massive as it is now, and all the gaming platform news sites, etc. So back then, at least, it was the gaming magazines that were the king. That's where you got your news. And then I remember getting bored of doing mods that nothing came out of it, and then I started helping out with indie games. Hey, Captain Balls. Balls. Welcome, welcome. You're new. Um, yeah, so then I started doing indie games. I helped out on a game. Um, one of them was I talked. I don't know how, but I think it was due to my sketchbook and doing a lot of experimental sketches. But I was approached by this guy called Kenny, who later became like the art director or what main art guy at Riot. And he was like, "Hey, do you want to help out?" And I of course said yes. This sounded like a cool project. I did my best to attempt to help out. And one day, this Kenny guy, I mean, I'm friends with him, and I'm talking like I didn't know him like back then. And all of a sudden, this guy's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna hire this concept artist to help out with some of the characters." I mean, back then I was kind of trying and wanting to learn, but of course I joined the indie game because I wanted to do something. I wanted to improve my skill set. So I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, just you wait until when you see what this guy is doing." Like, it's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, why aren't you using me? Like, I felt like a little bit cheated, like, you should use me. I'm the concept artist, you know. But then he did like an eternal show and tell at the forum, and it was he had hired Marko Djurdjevic, and Marco had like busted through shit tons of concepts, and I was like, "Oh yeah, all right, that's the guy, that's the benchmark." And I looked at my stuff at that time, and I was like, "Yeah, all right, I understand why you hired this guy and didn't use me." Because a lot of those concepts Marco had in his portfolio for the longest time. Marco really did some really cool designs for that game. Um, and I think that project helped Kenny further his career as well, being like art director, etc. Which has a funny little thing. Yeah, boss. I saw that on I recognized your nickname on Twitter from Twitter. Hey, Hugh T.O. Oh man, I can't talk to you. Pronounce your name correctly. Kuru, yeah. Yeah, so that was a funny story, like, or a funny experience rather. Um, so I started doing another indie game because this parasitic moon, I don't know what happened. I don't really remember why I stopped contributing. Maybe because of Marco. I was butthurt, or maybe they actually put the project on hold because of funding. I think maybe. Anyways, so I started another joined another indie group, and we started doing this game called Chronos V, which was this indie game. We have actually got an engine and everything running. We had models, and I was doing character concepts, being, you know, excited about concept art, seeing a first-hand show and tell of, someone who already is working in the industry. I mean, Marco was already professional at that time. Um, so it's like, all right, doing concepts art, and uh, and uh, and people made models, people were animations, we had characters running around in this world we had created. This indie game was getting attention from press and things, and we were in interviews, and we did a trailer, I think, even. But we were making one, but something happened, I think, from the project lead. He got ill or burnout or something. So that kind of stopped, and then I joined another indie game with Andrew Jones. Me and him were concepting these kind of Metroid-inspired monsters together. It was like a space jousting game. So we were designing like knights, which was really cool. And I, of course, shared these things online all the time to show people potential, like potential clients that, hey, look, I am um, trying here, like, but I never wrote hire me at any point. I tried now and then to apply to studios. My stuff was a bit all over the place at the time, and I didn't know before that like what was needed. And after seeing Marco's and Andrew Jones stuff, it wasn't a mystery anymore why I wasn't hired. And then I kind of figured out. I mean, this was before I even started working professionally. So I figured out, like, all right, I gotta somehow be able to grind the art so that I can reach that level that is needed. And if any one of you listened to Andre Wallin, he was interviewed on Level Up this week, I think. He had a very similar like starting story of me, or like me. He said that he was working in a warehouse. He got into university, was fed up with not doing art full time, and in Sweden you get paid to go to university more or less, and you can take a loan to fatten that paycheck. So he went to university, got a ability to sit and draw art all day, which led to him progressing, which led to him getting hired. I didn't quit my university. I ran its course. He quit and joined Framestore or something like that. And he got hired. I would have also been hired to before was finished, but I told the client, like, I want to finish my school first because I don't want to waste that time because I've already started. So that was really, it was an interesting thing to hear that me and him had a very similar start. Like, I also was working in a warehouse. I also was fed up. I also got accepted and then figured out that I can spend full time doing art. Now I'm not Andre Wallin by any means, but fun to hear that. Very similar. I noticed something with my art is that I don't flip the image that much. Some people flip it constantly, just over and over and over again. I don't like to do that. For good and bad. I mean, sometimes when I do flip it, it's like, oh, painful. Hey, Hugh. Oh, that's really cool, Hugh. Yeah, this is I don't know what this is. It's definitely something bird, and yeah, as you see, it's completely made up on the fly. But I'm glad that you dig it. I'm having fun. even though kind of not really know what I'm doing here in the sense of what's the chimera, but I think I just kind of migrated to some generic mishmash of creatures. So where are we? We're at like 9 minutes left, more or less. So that's pretty good. I mean, I would love to be further ahead when it comes to completion of like the actual concept, but it could also be worse. But yeah, so the after that, I think my first ever uh, paid job was for a startup company, Swedish startup company that later on uh, some of those people turned into um, the guys who made Heist. You know that bank robber game. And for that game, it was like this fantasy game. Was doing loads of dragons and things. Um, and next paid client, I think, was NCSoft. I think. No, 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 no. First paid ever. Now I remember was this kind of early 2000s game or end of 90s game called Tribes. It was like this shooter, third person kind of, but they wanted to branch into fantasy, I think it was. And I did like three concepts for an orc, on an elf, and something. It was such a shitty job, but I remember like, oh, it's starting. I got my first job, and then at that time there was this website called Garage Games, um, and it was like an indie platform. So you as an artist could make a profile saying, "Hi, I'm an artist. I'm looking for a group that is making indie games." That's probably how I found those other indie games. Was approached by, yeah, that, yeah. Anyways, so I was doing some like a small little contract for them, and I was like, oh yeah, my first paid client. Like now it's for real. But this was before I started university and was able to do it for full time. So it was like I got a taste of it, then it was nothing more for a very long time until I took the step to go full-time student, and then was able to grind all the art that I needed. Captain Bose, yeah, I worked, like I mentioned, very, very briefly on Tribes 2. I mean, I don't know if I like can say that I worked on it when I just got a little contract and I got paid for it. But I guess theoretically I can say that I worked on it. But yeah, but yes. Oh, thank you, Schmaze. Is it Father's Day? That's pretty good. GG, male gender. And then yeah, but yeah, like you say, Morphia, it's I mean, some people do get overnight success, but it's not, you know, it's not for free. If they get an overnight success, it means that they have the skill set required to get a good job, and timing just happens to be that they were at the right place at the right time and got hired, you know, got picked up, and that's about it, you know. And then pieces slotted together in a way where from the outside it looks like overnight success, but you know, they had the skills to back it up, this opportunity. And when you do have that, it's easy to capitalize on momentum. And that's just what people do. Like the right decisions at the right time makes it look like overnight success, but it's not like they're just getting it handed to them without effort. You know, some people are lucky. Some people just make the right move at the right time, and they get rewarded for it. Anyways, the next game was for, like I said, and one of the earliest ones were for NCSoft, which I worked with. Who was the art director? I'm friends with him now, but I just don't remember the name. And it was a game with Joe Mad, and I was kind of painting Joe Mad's pencil sketches. Was it with Ryan? Man, I can't remember. Schmaze, yeah. I mean, it is country based usually most of the times. Um, you know, certain countries have it at certain times. I'm doubting it is today in my country, but probably in most countries. Yeah, but that was really funny, that NCSoft game. I did lots and lots of work for that, and the client was very happy. So I always enjoyed that experience, remembering like that's such a nice like new big client, like big time client. Obviously, NCSoft is, you know, it's a well known brand, and I was psyched. And I remember even playing the game and seeing my concept arts being realized as armor sets, etc., in that game. And me and my wife, well, girlfriend at the time, but wife now, were playing the game together. And my wife, I even got her, because she was a concept artist that before she got pregnant as well, and I got her as well to work on it. So like we were trying to collect each other's armor set and items that we designed and things like that. It was pretty cool. It was a good feeling. All right, Hugh. Thank you for joining in. Have a great day. Good night. And bye, Hugh. All right. Let's do some quick color thing, and then we gotta call it a day. I love doing this. It's so much fun. This cheat with the color range. Love it. And also the last little change is that top light. You gotta get that top light. Get it. Get it. Yeah. Actually, that didn't look good. Let's darken it. Saturate it. There we go. There we go. Blue, purple. Right. I'm cheating. I need to stop. No. Right. Can't do anymore. Captain Boss. Yeah, it's fun to reminisce, I guess. One writer. I do 3D animate, but not professionally. I am educated in it. Thank you very much, Morphia. The color range thing, yeah, it's a funny hack. Um, Anyways, thanks everyone for coming. Time is up. Tomorrow morning is going to be Comfort Zone Friday. So I'm going to be doing whatever topic that comes into my mind. Thanks for the topic, Georg. Good night, everyone. Have a great day, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. And here comes